Hey, kings and queens, we are live. How y'all doing out there? I am here today with Alvin Anderson, an amazing realtor with Compass Real Estate, and he is here to join me. We're going to talk about first-time home buyers and how you should get prepared and what you should expect in this type of market. Alvin is amazing at educating his buyers, and he's very, very patient. That I've noticed since I've been working with him. So I thought he would be an amazing person to talk about this subject with. So Alvin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing out there? Well, my name is Alvin Anderson. I'm a real estate agent with Compass Real Estate. I've been in real estate since 2021. I started my career off working with investors, and from there, I came into residential. My whole focus when I came into residential is to educate my buyers, and teach them the ins and outs of finding a home. So that's my whole premise of getting into residential. I'm also a real interior designer as well. I do interior design and staging, so that's my other hat that I wear. But my main focus is servicing my clients, um, and so that's what I'm here to give you a little education on.
Thank you, Alvin.
Mhm.
So, I didn't know you was an interior designer. Another
That's
hand.
where that's how I started in real estate.
Okay.
In Years ago, back in the early 2000s, and I
Okay.
had a company called Gypsy Moth.
Ooh,
Um, and so I did interior designing for various clients through word of mouth. Other than that, I did a little staging here and there with my company, and after that, I just decided, you know what, it's time for me to go ahead and get into real estate, and here I am.
okay. I love that. So we wanted to talk about first-time home buyers and how to get prepared, the type of market we've been in. As we all know that the real estate market has been crazy the last 2, 3 years. So
Yes, it has. Yes.
but we still have been helping buyers navigate these ups and downs in the markets, and our buyers have been successful. Nothing crazy has happened. They're still in their homes, and they're loving being homeowners and opposed to being renters.
Right.
So what we would first start out by saying is don't allow the fear of what's going on in the news to stop you from becoming a homeowner, because you still need to build your own generational wealth.
Exactly.
Um, as you know, in our community, we are behind the eight ball on building generational wealth, just because of a lot of the fear mongering and things that's happening in
Mhm.
the news, and it scares people away. Oh, the interest rates, and oh, I can't afford it. And oh, if you can afford rent, you can afford to
Or
buy.
the mortgage. Exactly.
Um, so it's really just getting prepared for that process.
Mhm.
I had a long conversation with a young man that's preparing to buy next year. And he said, yeah, I just want to know the steps and what I should be looking forward to, or what should I be doing to reach my goal.
Yeah.
And I love having conversations like that, because it shows, one, that you're serious about buying, and
Mhm.
two, you want to put yourself in the best position. And that's what we are here for. Um,
Yes.
so the process doesn't take a year. The process could take two,
It's
3 months.
actually quicker than you think. So
Right. It happens quickly. So, but we are here to help you get ready. If you feel like you're ready. Now, what do you notice, Alvin, as far as the mindset of being a first time home buyer and saying, you know what, I'm just going to buy a house? Where do
right.
what do you think that people get to? I guess, am I phrasing that question correctly? To say, you know what, I'm going to buy a house. I'm just going to do it. I'm about to call a realtor.
Um, so yeah, when you decide that you want to, or you get in the mindset that you're ready to buy, the first thing I always say is, one, establish yourself a budget. Okay. You're paying rent. Okay. Whatever that amount is. Um, and I always say, establish that budget to say, okay, this is what I'm willing to pay per month over a 30-year, 15-year, whatever the term is, um, for your mortgage. Establish that budget first. You know, then once you have established, a budget, then the next step is getting you pre-qualified, pre-approved. That's the next step, because at that point you're getting approved for a mortgage. So now a lender is saying, hey, this is, after looking at everything, this is how much you're qualified for. This is how much house we say that we feel that you can afford. So now that you've established your budget, now that you've gotten the pre-approved, now through the pre-approval process, that will determine your down payment. So I do say, make sure to save money, because there is going to be a down payment if if it's needed, or if you're possibly able to get into a program where you don't need a down payment, but you want to have that there just in case. you know so put some money aside for a possible down payment. Okay. Then once you get the pre-approval and you get your down payment, then at that point, determine your personal finances. So in determining your determine and maintain your personal finances. So, which meaning that if you're paying rent, don't go out and establish any new credit. So don't go out and buy that new car. Don't go out and, rack up credit cards. Don't do any of that, because now you're in the path of buying a home, and that process is a process that you have to go through. So don't go out there and open extra accounts, because that can affect what you're able to buy. Okay. So that's the next step. And then the next step after that is, you want to sit down and determine your home priorities. So in determining your home priorities, you need to know, okay, how many bedrooms do I need? Do I want a yard or don't I want a yard? Because some people want yards, some people don't want yards. Do I want a single family? Do I want a townhome? Do I want a condo? So those things are determining what type of home you want. And then at that point, you want to clarify, once you determine that, then clarify the criteria that you want your dream home to have. So you want your dream home to have an open concept. You want your dream home to come with hardwood floors. You want your dream home to have stainless steel appliances already installed. You want your dream home to have, lighting, or you want to have, or you may be into feng shui and you want your lighting to come from the south or the west. Determine these things. So then once you start determining these things, sit down and write yourself a must-have list of items that you want in your dream home. Once you have determined that, okay, you've determined how many bedrooms, you've determined how, what things you want in your home. Once you've determined those things and you've gotten the pre-approval, now we'll focus on what you call the location. So we want to explore the areas that you're thinking about calling home. So if you want to be in a specific area, determine, I need to know that, because that's going to determine our home search. So determining, saying, okay, you want to be in Capitol Heights, you want to be in Upper Marlboro, you want to be in Silver Spring, you want to be in DC, you want to be actually in the city. Determine the area that you want to call home. Okay. That's the next step you want to do. And then I need you to also think about, what is life going to be like in your area that you live in? What is life going to be like for you? Do you want to be convenient to the grocery store? Do you want to be convenient to restaurants? Do you want to be convenient to schools? Do you want to be convenient to metro, public transportation? these are the things I need you also to determine is how does your life look in this area? And then at that point, we'll narrow down your search. And knowing these different things helps me as your agent find that perfect dream home for you. And so that's really the process. And like Sandra was saying, the process, it doesn't take long. Once you have determined your budget, once you've gotten your pre-approval, and then once you've gotten your pre-approval, then that's when you come to me. And when you come to me and you have the things that I've just mentioned written down, like your number of bedrooms, area you want to be in, what life is going to be like for you in this area, and then that helps me narrow down your search. So when we start searching for homes, I'm going to pick out and help you pick out homes that fit everything that you've come and told me that you like. And that's it. It's that quick.
It definitely is. And I'm gonna touch on the part that you mentioned as far as like talking to your lender, because that's always the first step.
Right.
And having conversations with first time home buyers. Again, people come to me with a lot of fear, like, oh, I want to buy and I'm not sure. What do I do? So, in my opinion, the first thing you should do is focus on the three C's. And we go over this in any home buyers class that we have. The three C's is your capacity, your collateral, and your credit, right?
Right.
So your capacity, it starts off with how much house can you afford? Budgeting for home expenses is very, very important because you want to live your life the way you live your life and you don't want to end up house poor. So, what is your capacity? What you can buy on paper and what you can buy in your head and based upon your monthly budget and your lifestyle is extremely, extremely important. So figure out your budget. Figure out, okay, based upon what I make, this is what I want my mortgage to be. And that way, when I'm working on your pre-approval, I can keep you within that range. And then Alvin knows, okay, I know this person can afford a $500,000 house, but they only want to pay around this amount. So I'm gonna have them look at a $400,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that will keep you within a range where it's affordable for you. Because the last thing we as professionals want to do is get you into a situation where you're like, oh, Sandra, Alvin, all I can do is afford to pay my mortgage. I'm
Right.
struggling here.
We don't want you to be house poor,
Exactly.
as the saying goes.
Yeah. And then so that's your capacity. Your collateral is going to be the house. So
Yeah.
that's where Alvin comes in at. You tell him what you want, what areas you want to be in, and he's going to do his best to find check off your list and get you closest to that list of wants and needs based upon what you tell him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then your house is your investment. I always tell people no matter what, you are going to live in this house. This is going to be the house you may raise your children in, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. But it's
Ex-
also your investment. So
Exactly.
that is your collateral for this loan. And that is what you're going to use to build your wealth because the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it
Correct.
at the end of the day. And then your credit. Credit is the biggest faux pas when it comes to loans because people think, oh, I need a 750. I had a guy say, hey, I need to get my score up a little bit more. And he was like 715. I'm like, a little bit more. Like, you're good. You
How
do
much
it right.
how much more are you trying to get it up?
Like, right.
you
Yeah.
know, it's a lot of people think that the higher the score, the it's going to make a huge difference, and a
Yeah.
lot of times,
It really doesn't.
it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can buy a house, FYI, with a 580 score. You
right.
may pay for that, but you can get a FHA loan with a 580 score. So we don't focus too much on credit, but we want you to be around 640 or higher, which is going to give you the best pricing. So your credit score is going to affect your interest rates and how much you're going to pay for that and how much your loan is going to be scrutinized.
Right.
So we want to get into good spending habits, good credit utilization.
Yes.
Just because you have a $10,000 credit card does not mean you should use all $10,000 of
No.
it. And that's what we're going to watch. So if you're brand new, you have not established credit, you might be fresh out of college and you say, I just want to own a house. Then we need to establish credit by getting some revolving credit, which would be a credit card, something like that.
Mhm.
And then you use the 10-30 rule. Use 30%, pay it down to 10%. You can use up to 50% without it negatively affecting your score, but maximum points 30-10. Remember the 30-10 rule and
Mhm.
use that every month. Unfortunately, in this country, it runs off of debt. So if you don't have any open accounts and you don't have a credit history, we can still get you along with that. But it looks better to have some credit that you're using, right?
Mhm.
Um, Car notes doesn't really affect your score as much as people think it does, but it's always good to show the bank that you're responsible with paying your monthly loan. So, that not let's not make that the first thing you jump out and get, but two small credit cards, using them every month, and
Mhm.
watch your score start going up.
Right.
So we got the capacity. Know what your budget is, as Alvin mentioned. Then you have your collateral. Know what kind of house you're getting. Look at it with your investor's cap on. Look at it as something you want to be comfortable in, but
Yeah.
also put your investor's cap on. Is this house going to make me money? What type
Yes.
of neighborhood is in? Is it going to have the neighborhood been growing value? What kind of equity I'm going to have in 5 years? Those are questions you can sit down with Alvin and he can answer those for you.
Yes.
And then your credit. Use your credit wisely and do not max it out. Try
Right.
to limit as much debt as you can. And if you do have a lot of debt and you're like, I still want to buy a house, come to me. We can go over what you have and I can let you know what you need to do with it.
Right.
Credit is also ever changing. Your credit
Yes.
could be 750 today and tomorrow it could be 580. Like that's how
Mhm.
quickly it can turn
Right.
from making one mistake. So do not get hung up on that. Oh,
Right.
my credit bad. Come to me. I can show you how to get your credit up within a few months. It's a game. It's a game that you have to know how to play. And
Yes.
unfortunately, in our community, we wasn't taught this financial literacy game.
Right.
So this is where we start by watching lives like these, by doing research on the internet. And that's how you prepare if your goals is to buy next year. Check out your capacity, your collateral, and your credit. And
Yes.
then call us, either of us, and we can give you some tips and tricks on how to get yourself there by your deadline, by your goal time, or even quicker.
Yes.
Because you
Most
never
definitely.
know. You might think, oh, I can't buy till next year, but you might very well be ready to buy now. So
Exactly.
now you can avoid renewing your lease for another year and paying somebody else rent and go ahead and buy your house now. So you
Exactly.
never know until you have that phone call.
It's,
Anything you want to add to that, Alvin?
and just to, the brokerage that I'm with, I'm going to add this in, Compass Real Estate, we have the technology and where we have what you call exclusive listings, which are in-house within Compass. So a lot of times, so what that means to you is that we have access to listings within our brokerage that are not on Zillow or Realtor.com or even on the MLS search. So you have more access to more properties through the technology that we have. And, like I said, like Sandra said, give us a call. Um, I can sit down and go over this more with you in detail about the different technology tools we have to help make your home search easy and seamless as possible. And that's my whole objective. So definitely give us a call, and I can talk to you more about the different things that Compass has to offer to help you with your home search.
So let's kind of touch on that a little bit of on market versus off market, because
Right.
you mentioned that. What does that mean to a first time home buyer?
What that means to you as a first-time home buyer is that lessens your, if I'm saying that right, that lessens your competition um, on the public market, which the public market is Zillow, Realtor.com, where more people have access to view these properties. By it being an exclusive listing within Compass, this allows for you as a buyer to have, the first look at these particular properties before they go live to where the public can see them. And what, like I said, that creates more competition for you. So that's what that means for you.
So let's go to the big question. Is it a good time to buy? Because that's the biggest question I get in this here
Oh,
climate.
and I love that question because, yes, right now actually is a really good time to buy because right now there's not as much competition on the market right now to buy your dream home. So right now is the perfect time, mostly as a first-time home buyer, to get out there, start looking, and we'll try to check everything off on your list, as much as possible, but to get you in that dream home. Now, a lot of times, and I'll just, say this is that a lot of times your first home is not going to be the home that checks every single one of your boxes. That's just that's just keeping it real. It's not going to check every single one of your boxes. But what you can do is use that first home as leverage to catapult you to your dream home. And so I always say that we'll try to check everything off on your box that you want. But if everything on your list is not able to be checked off, then trust me, use the leverage of that home to move on to your next home. And that's always my recommendation.
I love it. I'm gonna I mute my mic while you guys talking so we won't have so much feedback.
Yeah.
So and I'll always forget to come off mute and I'm just talking. We got a comment from Brooke on LinkedIn. Thank you, Brooke. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I just wanted to shout out Brooke real quick.
Oh, yeah, hey,
But,
Brooke, how you doing?
but it's always a good. Okay, I can't say always, but buying a house is a decision to make that will affect your net worth and it will affect your financial profile and portfolio. So, renting is a way to get you a roof over your head and make sure you're safe and inside. But buying is definitely a decision that you make because you want to add to your value in this country. And I'm air quoting country because you know. But you want to add value to your net worth, and your net worth helps you get further when it comes to getting business loans and things of that nature. It shows that you are a responsible human being, and it's also for you to set yourself up for your future. For your children, if you have them, is to leave a legacy to them and to help give them a leg up. There's all types of stats, and if you grow up in a home, you're more successful, et cetera, et cetera. So there are so many reasons to buy a house. Markets like this, interest rates. One thing I'm gonna tell you about interest rates that is ever changing. It changes every day, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a day. So
Yeah,
make your decision based on what the interest rates look like today is not going to help your financial portfolio.
right.
Um, we get into a area where we can get you in a home that you can afford to pay no matter what the interest rates are. We have different products that cater to your financial background. Don't allow bankruptcies and foreclosures and all of that good stuff to stop all of that bad stuff, I should say, stop you from seeking if you're ready, and that's why I said it's always a mental thing. Um, some people just could buy a house on paper, but they're just not mentally ready to take on that responsibility.
Right.
So if you're ready and you said, I want a house, I'm okay with what comes with owning a house, and I do want to build my financial profile. I'm ready to buy a house. Then no matter what your financial situation currently looks like, reach out to a professional and say, I'm ready to buy a house. I want a house now, and this is my goal, and I'm going to reach it. Then we can tell you, oh, no, you're not ready. Here's what you need to do to get ready. Or we
Right.
can tell you, okay, yeah, we can close you in 30 days. Let's just go looking for a house. So you
Mhm.
just never know until you reach out. And I'm talking to first-time home buyers here because if this is your first time, then you may not know that. You know what I mean? You may assume by what your grandma told you, or your dad, or your auntie that bought a house 15 years ago. This industry changes on a monthly basis sometimes. So what their experience was may not be your experience. So it's always advantageous for you to reach out to a real estate professional. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be us. Our goal is to give you the education, but
Right.
we prefer it to be us. But reach out to someone and say, hey, this is my goal and this is what I want to do. Can you help me get there? And if you get a professional that's not willing to do that, then you have the wrong professional. Then you just reach out, keep reaching out until you find someone that could help you. But to answer that question, it's always a good time to buy. You just do what you can afford, long as you have the capacity, long as you have he'll help you find the collateral. If you
Yes.
have the credit, it's a good time to buy.
Yes.
Anything you want to add to expound on that? I know we talking.
I always say, like, to reiterate back on the interest rate. I always say, this is just a saying of mine is date the interest, marry the mortgage. So the interest rates, like she said, they change every day. And so you don't get caught up on the interest rate. You know, let's find your dream home and get you a mortgage on that dream home. And so don't focus on the interest rate. And like she said, don't let credit be a hindrance. Don't be scared because you think I had something happen in the past and I'm not going to be able to buy a house. Let those anxieties go. That's what we're here for. We're here to walk you through and to do the necessary steps to get you where you want to go into that dream home.
I 100% agree. So, yep, first time home buyers, call us. We can help you come up with a plan. Check out or sit down with your financials. Um, get you a Credit Karma or Experian.com account. Monitor your, oh, shoot. Okay. So, did you hear what I said about Credit Karma, Experian?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, get you one of those accounts. Go to annualcreditreport.com. You get a full credit report from all three of the bureaus for free every year. That's something that the United States offers you. You do not have to pay. Go to that website and download all three of your reports because we're pulling what we call a tri-merge report. And we look at all three, we throw out the high score, we throw out the lowest score, and we use whatever's in the middle. So you need to know what all three of your credit bureaus are doing. Why you mean ask? Because some accounts don't report to all three of the bureaus. So what's on one may not be on the other. So it's important for you to take a look at all three of them. Things that we need to address. I would prefer you call me first before you go start paying off stuff because that could hurt your score even more.
Hmm.
So, I would say reach out to me if you have a bunch of collections and charge offs and things like that that you think. Because I have a friend and he always say, I need to pay all this stuff off. I need to pay. No, 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 no. Don't pay anything off until I look at it because paying stuff off could set you further back as far as your score. And we can talk about that in detail later. Um, and then savings, 401k, um, cash value life insurance, mutual funds, stocks, CDs, all of that is money that you could use and money that you should put on your application as reserves that shows the underwriters that you have something to fall back on if you so happen to could not pay your mortgage. So if you have those things, gather all of your statements, get all of that together, and figure out what that's doing. What are you contributing to it? Could you contribute more? Um, First-time home buyer programs. We have those. We work with a lot of state and local programs. Down payment assistance. Let me back up for a minute. Just because you're a first-time home buyer does not mean you're going to get down payment assistance. That is a myth. People ask me all the time, I'm a first-time home buyer. What do I get? You get a break on when you register your taxes. That's the only thing that comes automatic. You don't automatically get down payment assistance. Down payment assistance, we have some programs that's just for first-time home buyers, and we have some that are for anybody. So we can get you assistance if you need it. But having that financial portfolio with all of the stuff that you already have and the monies that you have sitting out there that you may not know that you should put that on your mortgage application, go through all of your financials and gather those statements and get that stuff together and know where you are financially. And then you're ready to go. Make a phone call and let's talk. Yeah. So
So make that call.
yeah. So once you get pre-approved by me, then Alvin takes you out and help you find your dream home. And again, I like that you said earlier, your first home may not always be your dream home, but your first home is a way to start your investments and have a place to live and start building the equity in the house.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Alvin, we have reached our 30-minute mark, and I thank everybody that tuned in.
Well, thank you all for giving me time to, give you a little education, and I look forward to hearing from you.
No
So we can start our
problem.
journey on your home search.
Thank you, Alvin. Tell them how they can reach you.
You can reach me, my phone number, 917-370-9444, or you can reach me by email, alvin.anderson@compass.com.
All right. And if you guys know how to reach me, you can comment on any of these social media platforms. We're on several right now, but comment and we'll reach out to you. You can call me 301-965-1155. If you want to get started with an application, you can go to approvemesandra.com and you can get started on your own. And then we can have a conversation once I have your information. So we appreciate you guys. And we are here to help. Do not hesitate to reach out whenever you need to. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed your lunch and you guys have an amazing day. Thank
Awesome. Have
you.
an amazing day, everyone.